I want to thank the community of District 1. You decided that I should be your representative, so I'm going to be serving you proudly. You think we've been busy in the past? You haven't seen anything yet.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Ian Richards, running for Group 7 here in Broward County, and I would like the opportunity to tell everyone that it's important to come out and vote. I was on the bench for approximately 6 years in domestic violence. I tried to help as many people as I could, and my focus and my main belief is that everyone should be treated like a human being, and you should make sure that everyone is heard as early as possible and make sure that they all feel respected.
Local elections matter. You know, here in Broward County, we have about 92 judges. 6 are black, 2 are getting ready to retire. And those of us who constitute 28% of the population in the African diaspora, if we have any kind of issue, to resolve that issue, we have to go straight through the courthouse. You know, if you look around in America right now, and you look at all of the situations that have affected black men in the criminal justice system negatively, they've all been because of a lack of diversity. We have not collectively been represented in the different areas of government. How can you justify having only 6 black judges in a county with almost 30% of the population is black? If we don't say that there's a diversity problem, nobody else will. It's up to us to speak truth to power.
I was born and raised here in Broward County, and I've raised my kids here. This is a wonderful county, and we need quality people to run for elected office. We need judges that are competent, diligent, fair-minded, level-headed, and have a proper temperament. I think I can fill that role, and that's why I'm running, so I can help the county. That's a great question. Judges make decisions that affect individuals' lives. If you have a criminal dispute or a civil dispute with a neighbor, for example, you are ultimately going to come before a judge. And that man or woman will make the decision, perhaps with or without a jury, depends, on what will affect your life. And it will ultimately come down to a decision by that person. And it's very important to get yourself educated so you know the personality of the people that will be adjudicating disputes. And it's just critically important to pay attention to those type of things.
I'm running for Circuit Court Judge now more than ever because families matter. We're about to lose the last 3 of our seasoned judges in Family and Dependency Court to mandatory retirement, leaving us with judges coming from a criminal law background or a commercial litigation background, making life-altering decisions for our families and our children. I'm the only candidate in my race that has over 23 years of experience working directly with those families in turmoil, abused and neglected children, and domestic violence victims. So if you believe that our families deserve to have a judge on day 1 that understands what they're going through and shouldn't have to wait for that learning curve, I hope on August 30th you'll choose Andrea Ruth Gunderson for Circuit Court Judge because your family matters. Get informed as to your Circuit Court judges and vote. August 30th, there will be a nonpartisan ballot, so even if you're not a registered Democrat or a registered Republican, you can go to the ballot, you can go to the polls and ask for a nonpartisan ballot for those candidates. Judicial candidates are nonpartisan, school board candidates are nonpartisan. These are important people in your community that make a difference in your lives day to day.
I've been a prosecutor for 35 years, started when I was 12. Haha. I'm also a law professor, and I teach lawyers and law students how to try cases. And I've wanted to be a judge since the day I took the oath of the Florida bar. It's something that I've always aspired to, but I wanted to make sure that I honed my craft first and distinguished myself from others. And so I waited, and then I tried the appointment route, but that didn't work out for me because the governor chose other people, so I decided to run. And here I am, running in Group 15. I got the Sun Sentinel endorsement on Sunday, so I'm on my way.
So you're ready to go. Talk about why the whole judicial area is so important.
Especially the circuit court. The circuit court is the top trial court in the state of Florida. Not only that, in the circuit court, life and death decisions are made every single day, whether you're in civil, whether you're in criminal. The ripple effect of a judge's decisions in the circuit court will be felt by everyone who comes before that particular judge. So the problem that you have is that if you don't have somebody who has the demeanor, who has the judicial knowledge, who has a command of the law, then you're going to have somebody who's making a decision that is not wise, that is not learned, and that won't stick.
I believe that it's so important to give back to your community, not just being a lawyer, because my practice consists of family law, domestic violence, dependency, and dependency is when the state comes in and takes your children based on neglect, abuse, or abandonment.
Okay. Can you tell non-lawyers why it's important to pay attention to the judicial races?
It's important to pay attention to the judicial races because everything that happens in the community really is surrounded by the judiciary. My involvement in the community, which goes hand in hand with the judiciary. I'm Vice President of NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, and we advocate for families who have mental illness, drug addiction, and alcoholism, and that we have drug court and we have mental health court. So that goes hand in hand. I'm also president of my Kiwanis in Deerfield Beach. We serve the children, and children are really the base of everything.
Actually, I'm from the neighborhood that we're sitting in right now. I'm a product of 33311, and I wanted to be a judge since I was 9 years old. I am your judging in Group 2 right now, and I've also been a public servant my entire career. Both of my parents, public servants their entire career. My decision was not made in a 12-second window. My decision was made over 30 years ago, and I have more trial experience. I have a proven track record of service to this community. This community is important to me in a very meaningful way, and that's why I serve it. So I'm proud to be a product of 33311, only judge in the race that has been homeless as a family. But I use the adversity that I've overcome in my life, and I use that to share it with children in our community to help them overcome their obstacles. And I give back.
Awesome. And why do you think it's important for people in the community to pay attention to the judicial races? They're at the very bottom of the ballot, and most people kind of just skip over it. But what do you have to say to the community about why it's important to pay attention to the judicial races?
When you walk into a courtroom, you want a judge who's going to be listening to you. It's your day in court. You may not know your rights. You may not be able to afford an attorney, but you need to make sure that a judge that sees you, understands you, understands where you've been, and can actually understand what you've been through. So it's important. This is a local race. Most people overlook them, but these are the most important races because they touch you and they affect you more than any other race on your daily life.
Thank you, Judge Evans. And we're out for Law Talk.
All right.
I'm running to get re-elected for Broward Sheriff because we've been abundantly successful. We come with a straight A report card. It's kind of like winning the Super Bowl. You want to go back and you want to try and repeat. We've kept our young kids out of jail. We've put violent offenders in jail. We've united Broward. We've done shred-a-thons like never before to reduce identity theft. But the thing I'm probably the most proud of is the grocery giveaways. We've done something law enforcement has never done. On Saturdays we go out and we maybe feed 300, 400, 500 people and let them load up their carts. And I do that with Wayne Barton Christian Ministries. And it's just a wonderful thing, and it's a way to get connected to our community. And that same community, when something goes wrong, they're going to provide you with the information. That's community policing, and that's what we're proud of.
What do you think that you're doing right or perhaps wrong that's helping Broward to stay above the fray and out of the news headlines for negative police interaction?
Well, that's a great way. I don't want to steal your line, but we are above the fray. That doesn't mean something can't go wrong in Broward, but each and every day I work to say to our deputies there, to coach them and to counsel them and to say, you can't judge a whole community on maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people committing felonies. You still got to treat people with dignity and respect. Treat people the way you would want another police officer to treat a family member of yours if they were handling the situation. Then I pray one day, like the community, one day when they see a police officer get out of the car, they don't see a white officer or a black officer. They see an officer who wants to get out and help them. And the officers, we have to see an American citizen. We have to be colorblind.
We need change right now. Our country can no longer stand back and wait and hope for change. It's been 50 years that with law enforcement that we've seen the same thing over and over again. Nothing has changed. We need someone that's going to step in, that's a visionary, that's a leader, that's not afraid to take on the establishment. Because if we continue to move in the direction we're moving in, the things that are happening in this country will continue to happen, and they will probably happen at more alarming frequencies. The current administration has made promises in the past 4 years. They talk about saving 2,800 kids through the civil citation program. The civil citation program is not his, it's a state mandated program. But the question we need to ask, what did we do before those 2,800 kids made the first mistake? We should have someone that's willing to put something in front of those mistakes, not after they make the mistakes. But with the current administration, they're from the 20th century. They believe in quantifying their success through numbers. The 21st century says no, it's with quality.
I'm running for the judiciary for very simple reasons. My perspective, my experience, and my temperament. And it's important that we read to our children. There was a study that came out that said that if a child cannot read by the time that they are in the 3rd grade, they are predisposed to entering the criminal justice system. Because 80% of the individuals in the criminal justice system have had an issue with literacy. So there's clearly a connection. It's why I'm running. I want to set a good example for those that are coming up behind me. And also, very simple, we need to have quality representation on the bench. They are on the bottom of the ballot, but they're actually the most important elections because local elections actually impact your life on a daily basis. Think about it. If you get a DUI or if you know someone, where do they go? A county court judge. If you have a landlord-tenant issue, if it's an eviction type of case, where do you go? County court judge. So it's important that, the people know who they're electing. You have to know also things about the person, do they have trial experience? What type of temperament do they have? Have they been, in trouble with the bar before? These are things that people should know and understand. And, you go to vote411.org. You can find out all kinds of information about all the candidates. And you can visit me on my website at www.florencebarner4judge.com.
Thank you so much. And we're out from Law Talk.
Thank you.
We have 43% of our teachers that are walking away from the classroom due to the fact that they have a lot of discipline issues. So my primary purpose for running for Broward County School Board is to bring back civility back into the classroom through ethics and etiquette training. I am the candidate for this particular position, and the reason that I think that I am the candidate for this position is that I want change for our kids.
Okay. And can you tell members of the community why they should pay attention to the school board on the ballot? Why is it an important race?
It is important for you to pay attention to that particular race because the game is no longer checkers, but the game is chess. And I am ready to fight for your kids. I'm ready to be a voice for your kids. And our kids deserve everything that the West Side gets. The East Side deserves it also.
Well, thank you so much, Charnel Jackson, running for Broward County School Board.
Thank you.
I'm running for this seat. It's a seat where a judge is retiring in Broward County after 23 years, and I'm running because I think I'm the most experienced candidate in this race.
Okay. And can you tell members of the community that don't have any interaction with law enforcement or the judiciary why it's important to look at even the judicial races? They're usually at the bottom of the ballot and overlooked, so why do you think it's important?
Judicial races are very important, and county court in particular, because that's the court where people are most likely to find themselves, sometimes without an attorney and in need of some idea of what's happening. So county court judges make very important decisions that affect your lives, and you should pay attention to them. And I'd urge you to pay attention to Deborah Carpenter-Toy for judge in Group 21. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am running because I am indeed the right candidate at the right time. I'm running because I am an experienced litigator, because I'm a proven leader, and I have a genuine commitment to public service. That's why you should support for me, Alfreda Coward, County Court Judge Group 14. We have an issue with diversity on the bench here in Broward County. We have 90 judges on the bench. 6 of them are African American, approximately 12 of them are Hispanic. As you may know, we are in a majority-minority county, but the majority of the community are people of color. It's important for us to have a bench that's reflective of the community that we serve. Right now, I'm actually in this race because one of our judges, Judge Mary Robinson, is retiring, and I am running to maintain that seat.
To continue the work that I started to ensure that we have inclusion of all the people in Broward County for economic opportunity. District 9 has a great need for more employment, more economic development. We've already started on that. We started on ensuring that we're doing more business in Broward County as a whole by working to make Broward County a destination for business, a destination for more tourism. And I want to bring more of that into District 9 because it's essential that we create more jobs, create more wealth for all the people of Broward County. The County Commission represents 1.9 million people in Broward County, $4.2 billion in budget. We run the airport, the seaport, your transportation system, your roadways, major parks, the library system. We are in charge of social services and economic development. So it is critical that people get engaged with that. We approve the sheriff's budget, the supervisor of elections office budget, the property appraiser's budget. $4.2 billion is a lot of money. That we have to make sure that when it's spent, everyone gets a piece of it.
Well, I'm running because I grew up in this neighborhood and I see some things that needs to be done. After 16 years of serving this community in Tallahassee, I came home and I looked around, I saw a lot of things locally not getting done. And I said, instead of sitting home and being complaining about it, you know what? Let me run and do something about it. I've got a set of skills that can bring people together and get stuff done. And I said, I'll run for it, run for the county commission and get some stuff done here. Everybody's thinking Hillary, Donald Trump, and thinking president. A lot of things that affect residents affect them on the local level. How much property taxes they pay, how many parks they have in their neighborhood, how many police officers patrolling their communities. Those things are governed on the local level when people are so concerned about national. More of their life is affected each day by what happens on the county commission, on city commissions.
You know, I think the process of voting and elections is one of the most important things that we do. I've had an opportunity to work in the office, serving as a leader for 13 years. And I know how we have improved the office, how we've made our reach to the community so much better. And I want to be able to continue that and take it to the next level. And one of the things that we'll concentrate on is looking to improve voter participation. And we'll be coming to the community to get some ideas for doing that. So it's an exciting opportunity to continue to improve the process in Broward County. The Supervisor of Elections office and the functions that go along with that are the bedrock of our democracy. This is where everyone has an opportunity to have an equal voice in the democratic process. So it's really important to pay attention, make a choice on who you think is best going to continue to move the progress forward of that office, who's going to reach out to voters, and who's going to serve with integrity, dignity, and professionalism.
I have a passion for what I do. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm very proud of the accomplishments of what my office has done over the years to protect this community and help people by giving them second chances, as you well know when you work there.
Well, he is my former boss. Can you tell members of the community that have not had access to the criminal justice system, or better said, contacts, and don't even know what the state attorney does, why the state attorney race is so important?
Well, it's for protection of the public, especially our vulnerable and fragile victims like children and the elderly. And we work so hard to protect them and also to make sure that the right people are charged with crimes, and those that deserve some compassion and understanding, that they get it. And the more experienced people you have, the better.